Now that you've found your sources and you're starting to put together your research in your paper, how do you cite the sources to make sure that you don't plagiarize? This presentation will show you how to cite your sources in APA InText Citation. But first, what is Embry Riddle's policy on academic integrity? It's really important that you understand the policy so that we can make sure that you cite correctly and you basically don't get in trouble. According to the policy, academic integrity, students are expected to prepare and present their own work to satisfy academic requirements. The academic integrity violations process is followed in all cases of suspected academic dishonesty. The first offense is handled by the academic department and/or college, which means that it's up to the department and/or one of the colleges to determine how they're going to progress. The second offense will result in an honor board hearing for undergraduate and master level students. Automatic referrals to an honor board include instances of broad cheating or students with a combination of academic integrity charges with other violations student conduct cases. In these cases, the student may face suspension or dismissal. Doctoral candidates should refer to their department and/or doctoral handbook regarding incidents of academic integrity. And academic integrity includes cheating and plagiarism. So, plagiarism. Students may not plagiarize as an act of academic dishonesty and is defined as taking the ideas, writings, and/or words of another and representing them as one's own. So this means that you're not including in-text citations and you're not including reference or works cited page. Two common forms of plagiarism involve the use of written or oral work of another person without giving proper citation and the use of work of another person as one's own. Oversharing, which is copying numerical solutions, computer code, or lab experiments outside of collaborative assignments, is also considered plagiarism, which means that you're taking your partner's words without giving credit to your partner. Prior to, a student must receive permission from each professor for double multiple submissions of identical or substantially similar written assignments to fulfill a requirement in more than one course covering all terms. What does this mean? This means that you can't plagiarize yourself. You cannot submit an assignment from one class that you wrote for another class unless you get permission by both professors. So what does this mean for you? In order to avoid plagiarism, you must give credit to the original author for his or her words or ideas. And students get really confused by this. Many students believe that once they put the author's words into their own words, like in a summary or a paraphrase, then they're fine. This is not true. Remember, it's not just the words, it's also the ideas. It's intellectual property. So you have to give credit no matter how you present the ideas in your paper. According to the American Psychological Association's website, APA style provides a foundation for effective scholarly communication because it helps writers present their ideas in a clear, precise, and inclusive manner by providing required information in a consistent and uniform manner. And in COM 221, APA is required. So we're moving away from MLA and we're focusing on a whole different documentation style. What information is needed in an in-text citation? If you have the author's name, you need to include the last name, or if it's an organization or even a governmental agency, that's what you put in the in-text citation. If there is no author, organization, or governmental name, then you will use the article title. You always also give the year of publication. So for example, Jones and then 2002. But if there is no year of publication listed on the source, you would use N period D period, meaning no date. You would also include a page number if you're including a quote or statistic, unless the source is a website. So let's take a look at what that actually means. How do you format an in-text citation? So if there are two authors, it would be in a parenthetical, Smith, and for sign Jones, comma, don't forget that punctuation, 2016 is the date of publication, and parentheses. 2 or more authors, it would be et al. So you don't include all of those author names. You include the first author only in the list, and that's according to the source itself. So if the source says Jones is the first author, then Jones would be the first author in your in-text citation. Et al., period, comma, 2018. For multiple sources in one citation, Jones et al., period, comma, 2018, semicolon, signal phrases. Now look at this. Signal phrases, this is telling me that there's no author name, there's no organization, there's no governmental agency. So we're putting the article title in quotes, 2012, semicolon, Smith and Jones, comma, 2016. Now notice also when there are multiple sources in one citation, the sources are placed in alphabetical order. Governmental agency or organization. So for the first time you present it in your paper, it's different than the second time. American Psychological Association, brackets, APA, which is our shortened version, comma, 2018. The second time you do not need to tell me American Psychological Association. Instead, it's just APA. No author, as I said earlier. Signal phrases is the article title. So on your reference page, there should be a corresponding entry that starts with signal phrases. The information in your in-text citation must match the organization of your reference entries. When no publication date is found, as I said, it's ND. What other information do you need to know about citing? In-text citations go on the outside of quotes, but the inside of a period. So take a look at this example. We need to ensure that students are engaged in active learning or, quote, methods that allow students to construct their own understanding of course material and engage in the learning process, unquote. Here's my parenthetical in-text citation, and notice that the period goes on the outside. Credit can be given to the original authors by using their names in the text rather than in the in-text citation. Lammy, 2015, says, comma, quote, commenting on student work in the form of a video has the potential to improve the feedback experience for both instructors and students, unquote. Now look at the page number goes at the end of the quote, but the date follows the author at the beginning. And here are references in case you want to find more information.